Hello, well, welcome back to part 2, and I received a package today, and this was from Scale Model Scenery, and this has got all their trunking in. So I've got to build this up yet, work out all the length that I need it, but it comes with quite a lot, you know, so, but obviously it's not as convenient as anything that's just already pre-built, and it does say you don't need to paint, but I think I'll see how it looks once I've assembled it. So I'm going to get this assembled and then get it onto the layout itself, and then I can really start ballasting. Hopefully this doesn't soak up all the water from ballast and ruin it. That's the only worry I've got with this. I thought it would be, it's on card, I thought it was going to be on sort of more like 1 or 2 mil MDF or something like that, so I have to wait and see how it actually turns out. So let me get some of this built and then we can have a look at it. Right, I've got all these built now, and I've done it in several different lengths. I've actually used the whole pack, and the extension pack as well. So, and I've still got a couple of those. So how while I was gluing them, I just used the sleeve so that the PVA glue wouldn't stick to other things, and then just prise them off, and there we go. That was like the easiest way, because I'm going to get PVA glue and it's going to stick to me cutting board and everything like that. So, and PVA glue that I've done is quite a water resistance one, so there's plenty of those about. These are some old Wilco ones that I had. I built all the T-pieces, and not built as to my best standard, I don't think, but I need to then make sure that these are going to be nice and waterproof. So I am going to give them a full coat of this fast drying lacquer. It's a matte lacquer, and hopefully this will give them a bit more of waterproofing, because they are only sort of thin card, sort of that's less than 1 mil, you know, probably about 0.25. So when I do the ballasting, they're going to soak up the water if I'm not careful, you know, and then look a mess again. If I'd known there was just out of card, I was just going to make my own, you know, but I was just a bit worried that card would just soak up all the water from when I was going to do the ballast. Maybe I should have, somebody did put in the comments that I should have used the ratio ones, and maybe I should have used those now. I just thought, before I'd seen those, I saw these, and you know, I thought, oh, they look really good, and they should do the job. And I saw them as already cut. You just got to glue them together, and I thought they would have come on sort of very thin, sort of 1 mil sort of MDF, or you know, something that would resist the water a lot better. So, but anyway, let's get these laid out on the layout. I'm going to glue them down. Well, I'm going to spray them all up first, and then get them all glued down, and then start to look at the ballast. And while I was waiting for the trunking to arrive, I'd got my signal box built. So that's just Scale Scene's kit, and at the moment I've just left the roof unglued, because I'm going to put some lights in there. So, but that sort of gives me idea of sort of how that's going to go. And you've got the relay boxes there. I might bring it a little bit more forward, so the relay box is sort of in line with the relay boxes there. And I think that would just be about the right size. Would have I like the slightly bigger ARP one, but I think that one's alright. Now I need to just work out where I want all of these now to go again. I built them in all different sizes, knowing that that one could go there like that. T-piece. I bring the yes, there we go. And I think it's worth just planning the layout out first. So we'll do the cabling afterwards. So like I say, it's just worth planning the layout. So I'd want another one there, but we need to go all the way. So what have we got? I'll have to cut a small piece off there, I think. Well, I think that's all the trunking that I need. Looks okay. I'm planning on putting some signals in, so I do want to put some signals in here, but I don't know whether to do it on a gantry, because obviously I want one here and one sort of roughly here for the two lines going across, and I also want a junction signal here. So I think that will look alright with signals. I've not got signals, so I'm going to have to put them in and scrape some of the ballast out, or just try and work out. I don't really want to leave the ballast out, but just don't get around to putting those type signals in. So I just need to glue all these in now. They're all just in loose to give me an idea of where it's going to go. So I'll have a crossing part there that goes over to these. There is nothing that can come onto this, but I'm not too worried. You know, they go onto ground instead of in the trunking. But I think that's okay, and it'll all be controlled via the signal box there, via the relay boxes that's scattered around as well. So I think there's a couple more scattered around up there. So right, I'm going to get these glued in and then let that dry. Well, I think it's time to get a bit of ballast down now, and what I've done is I've just marked out sort of an area where I want to make sure that I've kept, and I'm going to be putting ballast on the middle of this and on the outside, but not on this side. But obviously I want the refueling depot somewhere around there, but I also want a bit of hard standing, and then I want a couple of paths going along here. So this is going to be a little bit of ballast up around here, but then grass textures and things like that. So and obviously there's a bit of ballast to go in the middle here up to this line. That's where the hard standing is going to go, and then it's really quite a bit of ballasting to do. So I'm going to make a start, and it's same sort of ballast that I had before, and this is basically 90% of what's in there. There's a couple of other little bits in there, but this is the Gauge Master GM1910, and that's the O scale ballast. I did only buy another 250. I'm hoping that there's plenty there, because there's quite a bit of track work to do at the moment. So let's get on and let's see. Right, so I'm just going to use the old spoon technique, and I'm just going to do the points exactly the same way as I would do any other piece of track. I'm going to put plenty on and then start to brush it in. I think that's going to be my best move. Right, I'm going to get my brush and start getting some of that into the right places. Quite a big brush initially. Works sort of better with my finger as well. I'll make sure I've got nothing on the sleepers apart from around them. Not sure if this is a good enough brush for this process. Let's see how it looks around this trunking. I'm going to be putting it both sides of the trunking. And just around these relay boxes. But I'm not putting it at the front of the relay boxes because that's going to be a concrete road or some sort of dirt tarmac or something like that. Now this tape hasn't stuck on there. Right, that seems better. Let's just grab my brush. I just want to see what this looks like around the trunking. Now, if you watched the previous episode, I just wasn't happy with that trunking whatsoever. It looked sort of good initially, but I just couldn't get it to look good and it just looked out of scale. So I might have just got a bit too much around everything there. Just too much, too big, too thick a layer. Too thick around there. Right, let's just a little bit of a closer view of that. So I know it's not perfect yet, but the trunking doesn't look bad actually with the ballast around it. So we see a few gaps now. yeah, that's looking okay if I don't put it too much on. But yeah, that trunking looks pretty good, I think, once I get the ballast right. And it seems to be just falling down this gap. I'm going to have fun with this tape. Right, let me carry on getting the rest of this board done and we'll come back. Right, I think that's all good. So looks like a pretty good, that board now. I've got it as best as I can, I think. There's just a tiny little bit more that you can just keep tidying and tidying, and then you'll find a little bit more and tidying again. You can see that there. So might just get the brush on that little bit there and just tidy that up a little bit. But we've got this board pretty good, and I seem to be quite happy how that's gone. It's nothing jammed in any of the points, so well that one I do need to actually free, so I'm going to need a little bit more freeing on that. I didn't think I'd got anything jammed in these, so I'm going to have to do a good tidy up on this one. Still something jammed underneath it. It's jammed in the mechanism, I think. It's not anywhere in the actual blades or anything like that, so I'm going to have to do a little bit more cleaning of this one, because that is absolutely no use if it doesn't work. Right, a little bit of an update. This point, I took the cover off. The spring decided to detach itself quite nicely, so I've been trying to fix that back into position. Now I've just fell on the floor and I've lost it completely. I'm not going to find that whatsoever. So it swings all the way across. What I did find is there's a couple of little bits of gravel that are just stuck inside here underneath the cover plate. So I'm going to put the cover plate back on, work out which way around that goes. And what I am going to do is I'm going to have to, on the point motor, use one with a spring built in, so it keeps it nice and tight. It's the only point that I've got a problem with. These are quite early Pico points, and I perhaps should have used brand new ones, because the brand new ones don't have quite such a problem underneath, so the gravel doesn't really get in there. I've either got option of getting my Dremel and just cutting these out initially, and then sliding the fish plates all the way back on the new one. So you'd have to sort of make sure that you can slide them back or reduce them in size slightly. Put them in, get your pliers or cutters and just slide them across. So that is one thing, but this point does all work, and it's all swinging all the way across now. So all I've got to do is just fit the motor. So I think that's going to be the easiest option if I buy the motor. because I was going to buy motors anyway. It's just that I need to spend a little bit more and get the one with a spring now. So I've got, it's actually quite late in the evening. I'm not sure if I'm going to even get this ballasted now, because I've still got a little bit of tidying up to do on the ballasting. You know, well, wet down and then, but I would really like to try and get it done today if I could. But yeah, I still need to do a little bit of checking on all the rest of the points, but we're pretty good on everything else from what I can see. So I'll give you an update of where I get to in case I decide to get all the so what I have decided to do is just let's get this done tonight. I think I've got everything nice and clean. All the points are working as they should. Well, apart from that one without the spring, but everything's working on this part of the board without any issues. I've got another point somewhere there. Well, that one was stiff before. That one was, but one of the new ones, it was quite stiff, but everything is as it should. And all the ones on the main line seem to be running fine. So that's good news. May have to clean out all the point blades after I've done the gluing, but let's get everything wet. I'll do it from a little bit of a distance so I don't disturb any of the gravel and the ballast. And then let's see if this trunking survives a nice soaking. It should do, because it's I've tried waterproofing it. Really want to give it a really good soak. Before I put the PVA mix on. And this is just water and a little bit of washing up liquid, just take the tension away. So let's get the PVA glue. Right, I've got my PVA glue mix now, 50-50. I just need to gently go along. You just need to be so careful you don't clump it up and make it look rubbish. Especially in this section. This is the most important section of my layout. Well, these two middle pieces really. So I don't want to mess this up. But I need enough PVA glue on to make sure everything is stuck nicely. Now if it misses a little bit in the middle of these, between the tracks, that's not an issue. And get a bit more on there. Careful around the switch of the points. I'm just going to shake that up. Hopefully it mixed up alright. I've found in the past if your mixtures are just a little bit too weak, you can just go over it again the second day. One thing I have got to do is keep moving these points. That's why I wasn't sure whether to do it tonight, because if it dries overnight and I can't move them in the morning, I'm a bit stuffed. But I think I'll be alright. Once I've got them free, I tend to stay free, and then I can just put a tiny little bit of water on. But I'm interested to see what this trunking looks like in the morning. If this trunking is a disaster, then I don't know. I'm gonna have to just scrap it and start again. I'm not doing that. Well, I'm not having it looking rubbish, but I'd rather not do that. Right, I'm going to go carry on getting the rest of this layout all done, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow with you, and then we'll just see what this ballast looks like, see if all my points are working, give it a clean and give it a run. Well, I did say we'd come back in the morning, but I've just finished off all of it now. It's all ballasted, all PVA glued. And one thing I did forget to sort of say is, once you've all done this, make sure all your points are free. If you follow this, it's not a guide, it's just how I do mine. So, and I just make sure everything moves after I put it on. You'll still get some glue in the points, but at least they're sort of all nice and free at the moment. And if you come down in the morning and they're a bit sticky, just drop a small bit of water, let the glue sort of melt, and then it's easy enough to move them again. And then just slowly, gently move them, and while the water's sort of dry, and just keep coming down and moving them. But I've just gone over all the points, and everything seems to be. There's a bit more glue on this part of the layout. I ran out of one type of glue and used a different one, and I think it's a stronger mix. So I'm going to have to make sure that this one is clean, and I'm going to get a little bit of tissue paper and just clean all the insides of all the points out before it starts to dry, just to make sure that we don't have any problems. I know that one's the one without the spring, so I'm going to order one of those point motors with a spring for that one. So, but everything seems to be running okay. Well, running okay, I mean working as it should at the moment. So, but let's see once it's all dried. Right, how's it all come out? That looks so pretty good. It's not quite 24 hours, so might leave it a little bit longer before I start messing, just in case some of this ballast comes off. It feels dry enough, but and all my points are working. So one of the tricks you do need to do is just keep coming in and moving them so they don't get glued together. And if you do find that they do get glued together, like I said, it's just a bit of drop of water. So this was the one that I was having a lot of trouble with, because it's not latching, but it's actually stiffened up because of the but I do have a point motor, so it just arrived, so I'm going to fit that one, and that one's got a spring in it, so it should hold it in the right positions, because one of the important things is it's holding it in that position, because obviously we're going to be coming up that way. That's part of the layout, so I don't want it sort of moving a little bit halfway and then we end up derailing. So that was quite a crucial one, but as you can see, all the trunking, let me zoom right in on that, if I get in a bit closer, you can see that that's actually perfect. I'd waterproofed it well, didn't get damaged with any of the water that I was putting on it, so the lacquer spray that I've done and the waterproof glue, well, water resistant glue, worked really well, so I'm quite pleased with that. Actually looks quite good as well. So there's a couple of small gaps I've noticed that I'm going to need to just wet and then just drop a little bit on there, but it's overall it's gone on quite well, so I I can't really see any major issues anywhere. So this is the point motor, the PM4 self-latching point motor, and they do have a switch with them as well, so obviously that's quite useful. And I've never actually used these before, so yeah, and they do hold, so that's quite good. So, and it's just got a spring actually, so it's not obviously amazing, but they're quite expensive to say it's just the standard one with a spring attached. But that should really help once I put that underneath. It will sort of hold it nice and secure then. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to just let this dry for a few more hours. I might even do this sort of tomorrow, because just to 100% sure that this is all dry. I think it all is, so, but I might leave it a little bit longer. Right, I think it's time to have a look at this section. I said I was going to let this dry a bit longer, but I've decided that I want to have a look how the joins look. So I need to just make sure that the it seems to be stuck a little bit there for some reason. And I think we've got a bit of glue that run down there. That's what I didn't want. It's one of the reasons for the tape. Right, I'm going to slowly peel that off. Obviously we're going to get some of the ballast stuck to the tape, how I was ballasting it. Maybe I need to put a little bit of ballast on the joint, but I'll be a bit careful on how much glue's used up, but that's not a bad joint actually. So let me see if I can get it a bit better on the joint there. And that's not bad, I think. Okay, there's a couple of patches that I think I need to just tidy up a little bit. It looks like a bit of ballast missing from there, but to be honest, that's not actually that noticeable. So I'm going to take the rest off the other boards, and then we can get. Let's hope all the ballast will just fall off. That'd be embarrassing. I'm going to be very, very gentle. Hopefully. Oh, not going to work like that. How can I rest that just on the front there? No, I'm going to have to get a couple of blocks of wood. Right, 2 blocks of wood. Position those. I'm not going to just topple over. Right, that's okay. So it is this point motor here. in through the hole. Now is it which way round? Can't really tell. Yeah, I think that's throwing far enough. Right, is that? Right, I think that's the best position for that. So I'm going to glue, and I'm going to see if I have got some small screws as well, but I don't think I'll have enough small enough ones for this, so I'm just going to glue it in position. Not sure I've got enough of this epoxy. It's going to end up gluing it to that track. Right, I put a bit on there, and a bit over there. Come on, a bit more to come out. That's the very last of it. Nearly. I thought I'd been saving all this tube just for that one little drip. Right, I'm gonna leave that to dry. I did think, whilst letting that glue go off, I'd have a look at another building and see what I can do with that. And this is, again, is from Scale Model Scenery, and this is a 1970s portable office building, and I've used these many times, but it's does go wrong. You're sort of reading the instructions and you can't really see what that part is, and you think, oh, I've done that bit right, and then no. I sort of try and peel them apart. But so hopefully I've not got any mistakes. It's nice laser cut, but that's the card pieces anyway. But you do still have to cut out all the paper templates, all the wraps and everything like that. I mean, there's not a huge amount to cut out, so I don't think this will take too long. So I'm going to get that made, and this really does start to make the depot look the part. Oh, and I did forget, you also do get the windows all nicely printed, so you don't have to use just a clear piece off the wrapper or something like that. And they've also got like a dirty grime on the windows. Don't think that's coming out very well, but you do, they are quite a nice product, these. And once you've built them, they sort of really do look the part. Anyway, I'm going to get on with building this, because it's going to take me a good few minutes cutting these out and things like that. So it's rather boring sort of watching somebody cut something out, I think. Well, actually, in the end, I did decide to screw this in as well. I found some screws that was the right size, so that works nice. So I'm going to get this layout all back together, start giving the tracks a clean, and start getting all the hard standing back on. Right, all back together, and I'm just wanting to get this hard standing back in place, and obviously this goes from 2 boards, so I do need to cut along this board. I don't want to mark it with pen or anything like that, so I think I'm just going to gently score it. Oops, moving away. I think that would be my best. I just gently score it and then put it on my cutting mat and properly cut it, and then I can get that stuck down. Obviously around here I'm going to need to put in some ballast, so I'm just going to have to just put some glue in there, sprinkle the ballast in, and the same round here and things like that. So because you can do up to the line, but you really need the hard standing just to finish off all the areas. Right, I can already see that mark now. So I need to just do one piece at a time. Actually sits in the groove quite nice. Let me use the smaller roller. There we go. Whew. I don't want to mess this up. There's a tiny shred there. Right, I'm going to get the rest of this cut. It's more stressful on camera because I always make a mistake, so I'm going to try and make sure that there's no, I can hardly see the mark that I've done in this light. But let me get this finished and then I can get it fitted. Right, that's all fits nice. So once I glue it down, that gap will disappear as best as it can, but I'm going to have to just put a little bit of grey over the white paper and card there because it is sticking out a little bit too much. So I don't know if you well, a little while ago in the video, about a day ago for me, I was putting this together. I'm not quite finished it yet because I've still got a couple of bits left to tidy up on that, but the idea of this was to just go on sort of, I'll probably have to put it on there because I want to fix it down. I've not fixed in the roof or anything yet because I want to put lights in, but that should go there I think. Maybe I don't know, but obviously we're going to have the engine shed diesel depot there. Not made that yet, and hoping it will fit on there alright. If not, not sure what I'm going to do, because I never measured that for the yeah, so I might have to put a piece in there, but I'll come across that. The signal box, that's all complete. I think I showed you this. Just got to just do the lighting in there, so before I fix the lid down, but also I can put some interior in it, maybe an operator in there. Same with the portable cabin. It's always worth putting stuff in there, so when you light it up it looks good through the windows. So, but I'm going to get a little bit of running. I've got a class 20 that I want to run round, so I'm just going to test up the layout with that. So let's get this running. It sounded like a bit over the points there, that it needed tuning out a little bit, but and these are the points that I've added that extra spring and points, but it sounds a bit crunchy, so I'm going to just double check all the make sure there's no little bits of ballast left anywhere. It's potentially causing that slight noise. That's running on that line okay, actually. So I thought I'd just get it tested on the inside line here. Obviously you don't see it normally around the back. But yeah, that seems to be running nice around the layout. So one thing, I think when it was coming over these points, it was sounding a little bit crunchy, and I can see that I'm going to need to just clear some of this out. There is a little bit of ballast that's got stuck behind these guide rails, and I think a little bit. So I think that was a little bit behind that one as well, so I'm going to get all those cleaned out. And it should run a lot smoother over there as well then, but I need to then give that a bit of a vacuum up. But let me just show you the trunking, because this was sort of trying to get this right, and I think it's come out quite good, that trunking, as you can see. Okay, that's about as far as I'm going to get this week. I was was hoping to get a little bit more done, but I think that's as far as I can go. The trunking is looking good, ballast is looking fine, hard standing all fits. I've just got to finish that off. But I wish you a very good evening or a very good rest of the day, and hopefully I'll see you on the next episode. And take care.